Every function begins its life as a sentence in plain English. Given a whole number, tell me whether it is even. Your job as a programmer is to translate that sentence into code so that Python can store it and reuse it on any input you throw at it. Today we write our very first function, one piece at a time, then we make it shorter. We are building a function called isEven. A function definition always opens the same way. We begin with the keyword def, short for define. In your editor, it turns blue, and it announces to Python that a function is coming. Next comes the name. Make it descriptive, usually an action word because a function does something. We call ours isEven. Then a pair of parentheses. Inside them go the inputs, the parameters the caller must supply. Our function needs just one number, so we write a single parameter, I. Then a colon to end the line. On this first line, only two things are yours to choose, the name and the parameters. If a function takes no inputs, the parentheses stay empty. If it takes several, you separate them with commas. Everything else, the def, the parentheses, and the colon, is fixed. Because that first line ends in a colon, the next lines must be indented. That indentation is exactly how Python knows where the function body begins and where it ends. Everything indented underneath def belongs to the function. The first thing we write inside is the docstring. It opens with triple quotes and closes with triple quotes, and between them you write whatever you like a comment that spans several lines. Treat it as the contract for your function. A good docstring hits 3 points: what goes in, what the function does, and what comes back. Ours states that the input I is a positive integer and that the function returns true when I is even, and false otherwise. Anyone who reads those few lines now knows how to use isEven without ever reading a single line of the body underneath. Below the docstring sits the body, the actual work. Here is the reassuring part. This is code you could already write. Picture a quiz that said, given a number I, print true if it is even, and false if it is odd. You will reach for the remainder operator. I mod 2 gives the remainder left over after dividing I by 2. If that remainder is 0, the number is even, so we write, if I mod 2 is equal to 0, return true. Otherwise, return false. The one genuinely new piece is that word return. Instead of printing something to the screen, the function hands a value back to whoever asked for it. The moment Python reaches a return, the function is finished, and that value, true or false, becomes the output of the function. 1 point trips up almost everyone. Writing this function does not run it. Not a single line of that body executes right now. All we have done is hand Python a recipe together with a name. Python quietly files the recipe away as an object called isEven, and then it waits. The code only springs to life later when someone actually calls the function on a real number. Defining and running are two separate moments. Right now, we are only defining. That whole process generalizes. Here is the thought process for turning almost any English problem into a function. First, understand the problem. Ours. Given an integer, decide whether it is even or odd. Second, name it. Choose a descriptive. Action style name isEven. Third, choose the inputs. We are handed a single number, so one parameter is all we need. Fourth, write the docstring, the contract, stating that the input is a positive integer and describing what comes back and when. Fifth, solve it. If the remainder when you divide I by 2 is 0, return true. Otherwise, return false. Follow those 5 steps in order, and the function very nearly writes itself. The hard thinking happens in plain English first, and only then does it become code. Working code is not the finish line. Once it runs correctly, you look for ways to make it cleaner. Look closely at the test. I mod 2 is equal to 0. That expression is already a Boolean, all on its own. When I is even, I mod 2 is equal to 0 evaluates to true. When I is odd, the very same expression evaluates to false. So read our 4 lines aloud. If true, return true. Otherwise, return false. We are asking whether something is true only to hand back that exact same answer. That is redundant. We can cut out the middleman and return the expression directly. Replace the entire if and else block with a single line. Return I mod 2 is equal to 0. The behavior is identical. Even an odd come out exactly as before. But now it is one honest line. Here is our finished function. A def, a descriptive name, one parameter, a docstring that spells out the contract, and a single line that returns the answer. We translated a plain English task into code, then sharpened it. Remember, even now these lines do not run. They rest in Python as a function object named isEven, ready and waiting. That is the payoff. Because it is a function, we can call isEven on any input and get an answer for everyone. To practice what you just learned, this course has free exercises and AI-graded feedback on ludium.ai. The link is in the description.